This is your day-to-day BYU Sports play-by-play. It is the 2023 BYU football season preview special on BYUSN. Alongside Jerem Jordan, I'm Spencer Linton. This segment presented by Maersk, your e-commerce logistics shipping partner, and we focus this segment on the BYU football offense and do so with dual threat analyst Uncle B, Blaine Fowler, national champion quarterback, is with us in the Cougar Council room.
What's up, Blaine?
Let's break this offense down position by position, Blaine, to give fans an idea of what this team is actually going to do when they take the field in 11 days.
Yeah, I think I'm most excited about is, in my recent memory, I cannot remember a deeper offense. So I can remember times when at certain position groups they're really, really good, but every single position group on offense has talent and it's got depth of talent, which I cannot say in the last 10 or 15 years that I remember a time where there's not a position group that I'm worried about. So it's pretty fun.
That's quite the statement. Let's start with the quarterbacks. Obviously, Keaton Slovis, 3 years at USC, 1 at Pitt. He is the starter. Jake Retzlaff looks like the backup at this point. What are you seeing with the 2s and 3s?
So Retzlaff, and Keaton's been phenomenal, right? Like, makes all the throws, but the way he's picked up this offense and how he's advanced and getting the ball out has been phenomenal.
Is that improved specifically during camp?
Yes. So from day one, from spring ball till now, I think he has so much better command of this offense that I'm really excited and bullish on him. Retzlaff also advancing. He's a baller. Like, he'll run around and make plays. He gets the ball out. He plays with confidence. He's got an interesting release.
Unorthodox.
A little bit of a sidearm release, but very effective. I'm like, after every practice, I'm like, boy, he's got an interesting release, and he's throwing all kinds of completes all over the place. And then Cade Finnegan is also a guy that has the skill set, has been here, understands the offense, that could play. And so any of those guys could get inserted into the lineup. And Keaton's the guy, obviously, but I feel very confident in both Cade Finnegan and Retzlaff that they could step in there and do a great job and run this offense and win games if something were to happen to Keaton. Is this wood?
Yeah, sure.
I'm knocking on wood. I hope everybody heard me knock on wood. Faux wood works too for knocking.
Somewhere Ryder Burton saying, "Hey, I'll challenge for the number 3 or the number 2 spot."
Yeah.
So and Ryder Burton, when you watch him, it jumps off the page his skill set. Like, we always say he can spin it. He throws the ball, a lot of velocity on the ball, makes every throw, very poised, not afraid to throw it in there. He's just young, and so the game is still coming to him. You'd like to be able to see him play in a few games this year, and
redshirt.
And redshirt.
You can go 4+ a bowl.
Yeah, and I don't know. I think you see how the season plays off, because remember, Retzlaff has that redshirt year too. Yes, and so you could stagger these guys in a way that you're really taking care of. But I'm glad you bring up Ryder Burton, because Ryder Burton looks like the real deal. You just don't want to have to play a freshman.
Sure.
No, not in the Big 12 especially. Okay, we got to go like 45 seconds per here. Running backs, Aiden Robbins, Deion Smith, L.J. Martin plus?
and Hinckley Ropati as well, right? I think Hinckley's only question last year was, can he take care of the ball? Because the ball was on the ground a lot during camp and during practice. And when they finally put him in a game, he took care of the ball. It was like, well, wait a minute here. Maybe he's just a gamer and the ball's not going to be on the ground. He's phenomenal in the screen game. He's great in the open field, understands how to set up blocks. He's low to the ground and runs hard. We had that breakout game against Boise State. And so I think he's in the mix as well. And L.J. Martin, you get a freshman that comes in at running back and you just think, hey, running backs need to be men, right? They need to be big, strong guys. Is a freshman ready? Oh, he's ready. Like, he looks good, and he will play some this year and be in that mix. And then there's also Miles Davis. And so let me just say 3rd and 1 is not a problem anymore.
Okay.
3rd and 1.
Okay.
Aiden
Chain
Robbins.
moving last year
matter?
was an issue. This year, put Aiden Robbins back there. And with this offensive line, it's not a problem.
Jaron pointed out yesterday, 121st in the country in 3rd down conversion.
That's to me, it's the single most important thing they have to improve on this season to be better. And I feel so good about it right now with that group of running backs.
Great.
Or maybe that was the defense. Either way, the offense and defense, 3rd down conversion.
You got to get off the field.
Both were bad.
You got to get off the field of your defense. You got to stay on the field of your offense, right?
Okay, wide receivers. This is an intriguing group. Okay, Cody Epps, Keanu Hill, and Chase Roberts are the 3 incumbents, if you will. Then you add Keelan Marion from UConn and Darius Lassiter, who we've learned from Pesty Satake has the strongest hands and is very precise of this wide receiver group. Parker Kingston might be the surprise of the camp in the wide receiver group. What do you like about the wide receivers?
Yeah, it's a deep room, which you think, hey, can you lose Puka? They lost some significant talent there, right? And you're thinking, can they replace those guys? Well, I love what they did in the transfer portal. You mentioned Lassiter. He's a big guy, 6'3", or 6, and strong hands. And I think he's more like 210. When you see him, he's put together. He's going to go compete and high point the ball. When he's got one-on-one coverage, you can throw it out there and he's going to go get it. And then Keelan Marion is his feet, extremely quick feet, great hands. He's maybe a little bit smaller in terms of how thick he is compared to Puka, but maybe a little bit quicker. And I think, boy, they really reloaded with the transfer portal. And then, guys like Parker Kingston and Nyberg have looked really good in fall camp too. So this is another really deep group with really good top-end talent. I like it.
Tight ends, Isaac Rex, plus who else is going to be in the mix there?
Ethan Erickson he's like we talk about, you got to be a man to play. Like, Ethan Erickson is a man this year. Like, he has put on some good weight, and he looks good. He's the type of tight end that can put his hand on the ground and block or, get out and run routes. He's going to be really, really good. Fakahua can go back and forth between the tight end spot and that H-back, yes, F-back spot and lead block. He's doing a great job. Anthony Olson's in the mix. I thought Bowers, he's a freshman. Is he really? We could see him in the mix before it's all said and done. And there's a couple of other guys, Paulo and Taase.
Yes, at the H-back position.
Right, who I have seen at that H-back position. These are guys, everybody's like, well, how are we going to Mason Wake? Like, what's going to happen? Who's going to be? These guys can really block. They are big, physical, strong, athletic dudes.
This is Taase right here.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, what are we going to do about that? Because Mason was such an integral part of the run game and his ability to block and then come out and catch balls and do that. I feel really good about Paulo and Taase. And everybody knows about Erickson and Rex because they played. Here's the other thing. Isaac Rex is healthy.
Yes.
Yep.
And I'm watching him cut off of that surgically repaired ankle now and get separation. I'm watching him run an inside breaking route on that ankle and not have to round it off. And so I think we see the Isaac Rex from 2 years ago, not the Isaac Rex from last year, and that makes a big difference.
All right, let's finish with the group that I know you feel really good about. Maybe the best of any offensive position group, the offensive line.
Yeah, I feel like this has the opportunity to be one of the best offensive lines in the conference. So that's saying a lot because this is a conference that plays a lot of great offense and has some great offensive linemen. This group is physical and nasty and big, and they've reloaded. And I'm going to draw your attention to Miley. Miley's the smallest guy. Mm-hmm. I was talking to Connor Pay the other day after practice, and Connor's like, sometimes Paul comes off the ball so violently that it takes my attention away. Like I actually look over there, like I feel him next to me. The collision he's creating is so violent that I'm like, whoa, that dude. And remember, both Connor and Paul, they can interchange. So Paul can go over and play center. Connor can play guard. That first group, Etienne, who comes from Oklahoma State with a lot of P5 experience. Kingsley's a freakish athlete at left tackle. Waylon Lapuahu at right guard is really good. And then there's depth. Braden Keim would be the starting left tackle at most places in the country, including P5s. And he's kind of playing a bunch of different positions and trying to fight his way in there right now. That tells you how good they are. Lots of depth, really physical. Watch Paul Miley. He's going to put smiles on people's faces that like violent play on the offensive line.
Okay, after that conversation, I'm ready for BYU to win 8 games, Jerem.
Let's go. Let's go, baby.
Let's go.
I'm ready, Blaine. Awesome breakdown.
The offense is ready to go, guys. Offense is ready to go.
Upgraded at every position according to their offensive coordinator, Aaron
Love
Roderick.
it.